SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 10 in the NFL, and we're talking right now with Al McMordie from BigAl.com, who's having a very good NFL season at his site, BigAl.com, and who also gave us 2 free winners last week in his video previews with us. Al, thanks for being back with us.
Always good to be here, Peter. How'd your week go?
My week was pretty good overall. I was on San Diego, which is a little bit tough to swallow, but overall it was pretty good. One game that I did bet, though, was recommended by you, which was the under in the Monday night game, and I had a winner with that. And thanks for that. And you're going to take the Green Bay game again this week, and of course, this is the game with the huge news, right? Aaron Rodgers out, and even on the other side, Nick Foles had his record-setting game against Oakland last week. So this line, I'm not exactly sure which way you're going to go with it. Green Bay right now, market-wide, is a minus 2.5 point home favorite. The total is 48. What's your take on this situation?
Well, last week we actually had big plays on the Oakland-Philly game over the total, so that was an easy winner. And then we had the under, in the Green Bay-Chicago game Monday. That was the game we talked about, and hey, I'd rather be lucky than good because I have a sneaking suspicion if Rodgers hadn't gotten injured that we wouldn't have won the under, 51 in that ball game. This to me is a classic example of taking a team, that nobody is going to want, and that's the Green Bay Packers this week. Packers are going to, turn the ball over, of course, to Seneca Wallace. He got no reps in practice before the game against Chicago because they didn't expect that he was going to have to play. He's going to get all the reps with the first team this week. That's going to be a huge advantage for him. And you also have to remember that Wallace was, anointed the backup quarterback late in the game. He didn't even get any preseason snaps with Green Bay. So I think he's going to improve significantly from what we saw on Monday versus Chicago just by the benefit of having a full week of practice with the first team. And also a lot of times NFL teams rally around, the backup quarterbacks because they all have an improved focus, knowing that there's no room for error. And Green Bay comes into this game off that home loss versus Chicago. And one of the things I like to do, Peter, is take winning teams in the NFL off home losses if they're now at home the next week. These teams are 89 and 64 against the spread going back to 1980 if they're not laying 9 or more points. And I'm going to take Green Bay minus the points against Philadelphia. It's also worth noting that Green Bay's, offensive cupboard isn't exactly bare. Eddie Lacy rushed for 150 yards on 22 carries on Monday night. James Starks ran 32 yards for a touchdown. So there's a lot of talent here. Certainly the drop-off will be with the fact that they're going to be more predictable. You get a lot of unpredictability with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, not so much with Seneca Wallace. It'll be a much more conservative game plan, but I think they're going to be able to better execute this game plan with a week of practice.
All right, those are great points, Al McMordie. Does it worry you how explosive Philly's offense looked last week, or do you think that they're maybe due for a letdown here?
Well, I thought they were due for a bounce last week. That was one of the main reasons I had the over in the game with Oakland. I thought that Philadelphia, after scoring a lot of points, actually the first 5 weeks of the season, then the next 2 games they were dreadful. They scored 10 points combined in the 2 games right before Oakland. So they definitely were due for a bounce last week, and they got that. But I just think right here, the line would have been Green Bay minus 9 or so with Rodgers in the game. It's now 2.5. So the loss of Rodgers, we get compensation for that. The line's fair, so I've got no problem laying under a field goal with Green Bay in this ballgame with Seneca Wallace.
So you think that the line moving from 9, 10 all the way down to 2 or 2.5 here is maybe a bit of an overreaction?
I wouldn't say I think moving from 3 to 2.5 is an overreaction. I would have put the line at minus 3. Right now you're getting 2.5. So I think that there's definitely value there at minus 2.5 or less.
All right. Al McMordie making a very compelling case for Green Bay minus 2.5 with Seneca Wallace at QB. Thanks, Al. Talk to you again next week.
Okay. Thanks, Peter.